Camp Nightmare is another two-parter in the Goosebumps series, so this one has a lot more highlights and more content. I think it's definitely necessary for this one, and I think a lot of Goosebumps episodes do feel like they could be two-parters. Okay, for this episode we got a whole group of kids for our main characters, but really our main guy is Billy. We got a real Goonie situation happening in this episode with an ensemble cast. So yeah, there's plenty of kids to choose from. Who's your favorite? What? What do you mean by that? Okay, so they get off the bus and the bus driver immediately just starts chucking all their stuff off the bus without saying a word. The show does a good job here at setting the atmosphere for the beginning, because maybe the bus driver was just a little shy, you know? Or maybe he was trying to warn everyone about the events to come. The show does a good job at just setting vibes right from the beginning of something not being quite right about the camp. It seems like they are also being stalked at the beginning by a monster from when they first get off the bus. But don't worry, the camp leader, Uncle Al, shoots off a landmine and this big explosion goes off. Are we serious? He explains though it's just to keep the wildlife from entering the camp. Oh, okay. But Jesus Christ, man, you're gonna set off a whole forest fire if you keep that up. The hell, Uncle Al?
What was it?
That was Saber.
Who's Saber?
Saber is not a who, it's an it. Just keep to the trails and it won't bother you.
Okay, so our group consists of some funny campers. For one, there's like this gangster guy who's kind of like the bad boy. I just find it so funny, everything he does, and he's definitely one of my favorite characters for this episode.
No leaving your bunks at night and sneaking out anywhere.
Who would do such a thing?
Just as much as the jokester of the group, Roger.
There's no blankets on his bed. He probably ate them. Ate them.
These are the types of jokes Roger's getting away with in the crib. And then there are some other twerps that aren't around and aren't as important, but those are my favorite from the squad. So as Billy and everyone walks up to camp, Billy is rizzing up the huzz, and it makes it seem like she's going to be a bigger role, but she actually just gets immediately relegated to like an off-screen character, which is off-putting to do this at the beginning of the episode, but okay. Because their camp gets split up between boys and girls, so she just immediately, as soon as we meet her, she immediately just leaves. We also learn on the walk up to camp that there's this forbidden bunk, even though it's just on the main trail, but they still aren't supposed to be there. But it's like, if they're walking on the main trail and it's just like right there, like, are we serious? You think that it would be hidden if it was forbidden or something. There are also some weird rules about riding home to your parents every day and staying on the trails. They make it to the camp, and one of the kids, Mike, just immediately gets his hand bit by a comically placed snake on the bed.
Hey, look! Cookies from Mom?
Actually, from Daddy. Help yourself.
Thanks.
What's the matter, Mike? Not enough chips in your cookies?
Hey, look! Cookies from Mom? Hey, look! Cookies from Mom? He bit me! He bit me! Cookies from Mom?
Grab one in.
Cookies from Mom?
You can give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe it was under the covers and then they rolled up the covers once he got bit, but come on, bruh. Also, stealing those cookies, Mike, that's where I draw the line. That is not okay. You know what, Mike? You deserve to get your hand bit. I'm sorry, bruh. So this is where we get introduced to one of my favorite characters so far in the series. This camp counselor, Larry, is just the most annoying, funny little character ever. He is so obnoxious, it's actually comical.
You're the counselor?
The name's Larry? Oh, man. Get that out of my face. I just ate. Go wash it off. I think maybe I got a bandage.
He literally introduces himself with his own letter, like finger pointing. Larry is the type of guy to spit in your face. He just tells the kid that got bit to stop being a wimp and that he's overreacting to a freaking snake that bit his hand in his bunk. Are we serious, Larry? We also find out that there is no nurse in the camp, so if anyone is hurt, they're basically funnied. But then the dumbest part is these kids wrap his hand, but they put his whole arm in a cast for a bite. Jesus, I hate to see what they do for a paper cut. We learned that the monster stalking them from the camp is named Saber, because it's like scribed into the side of the camp wall. And so like the rest of the kids start talking about it. And that it's basically like this wolf creature killing campers. And that's what we have to be scared of at night. So later after the camp, Saber basically kills off this kid that got bit by the snake. He just mysteriously disappears from his bunk, but we find his shirt like outside of the cabin. So it's presumed that Saber ate him. The next day, Billy and everyone try to find out what happened to him, but all the counselors and Uncle Al gaslight him into believing that he never existed. The counselors even try to stop them from talking to Uncle Al because he's like the leader of the camp. And since the counselors aren't any help in the situation, so they try to find Uncle Al.
Yeah, his stuff's gone. Did Uncle Al send him home?
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, look! Cookies from Mom.
Forget it, Billy. Let's go. Come on.
Look, I want to find out what happened to Mike.
Yeah, maybe.
Geez, Larry, you got a bunch of whiners this summer?
My sister now. Wish nobody here. Geez, Larry, you got a bunch of whiners this summer?
Yeah, maybe.
It creates this atmosphere for the episode that you can't really trust anyone, and that they are just like completely stranded in this camp. And that like they should be having fun, but there's just like some evil things happening under the surface, and they really don't know what's going on at the camp. The counselors force all the kids to play baseball, and Larry basically snipes the funny bad boy kid. The show shows him getting hit with the worst, most comical slow-mo you can imagine. They could have not done this in a more funny way, I swear.
Cookies from Mom.
And Jesus Christ, Larry must be playing for Major League Baseball, because that ball left a huge dent in the helmet. Like, oh my god, Larry. It's been hitting the gym. The bad boy kid is hurt pretty bad in the head, so they stop playing, and he's got to get some medical help. But they just keep gaslighting the kids that he's fine. Oh my god, these kids are just such wimps and babies. It makes me want to crash out. The other kids in the bunk want to go to the forbidden bunk, but Billy decides to stay with Colin, the injured bad boy kid. But Saber just ends up getting the Joker kid Roger and eating him.
Colin, get out of there!
Saber's coming.
Come on, man. We gotta go.
Saber's hungry. Saber's coming.
Hey, look! Cookies from Mom.
They tried to save him, but end up getting chased off and make it back to their cabin. But Larry ends up finding them and keeps gaslighting them that there is no kid by that name. They keep asking questions, and Larry keeps denying it at the mess hall. The counselors force all the kids to go swimming, and the other two kids get picked off by the camp. Their boat basically gets knocked over, and they basically drown, and Billy tries to save them, but it's just too late. And this is the crazy part. And Larry just leaves, which is so funny. Oh my god. This guy has zero remorse for his actions. He just lets two kids die right in front of him and doesn't even try to save them.
I was never here.
Larry!
Never saw any of this.
You can't leave him out here!
I was back at the lodge.
Larry!
Saber's coming.
W counselor, bruh. Zero accountability. So Billy has finally had enough and goes to the forbidden bunk to get to the bottom of what's going on. He finds out that the letters he's been sending and everyone else's letters back home are just sitting there and haven't been actually mailed. He also finds the girl from when they first got off the bus. She tells Billy that the same things are happening at the girls' camp too, where campers are going missing. So Billy goes back to confront the counselors and Uncle Al now that he has proof of these kids like letters not being sent off and going missing, that these campers actually did exist. He finds them dressed in camo in these like military type uniforms. They try to get Billy and everyone in the camp to hunt down the runaway from the girls' camp that we saw in the forbidden bunk. They hand out tranquilizer crossbows. Like, Jesus Christ, they don't play games at this camp. They're a hardcore. What the hell? Gotta have the most amount of fun or else, I guess. Otherwise, you're gonna get sniped by the trank darts. So Billy has finally had enough and he confronts Uncle Al about everything. They do a really good job at gaslighting and misleading Billy here, where you don't really fully know if everything they say is true or not. Billy doesn't believe what they're saying at the camp anymore and trusts his instincts and shoots Uncle Al. And it turns out that they actually aren't tranquilizer darts at all, but this whole camp is an elaborate test for Billy by the government to allow him to go with his parents on a mission. What mission, you might be asking? Get this, a mission to invade Earth. This whole time, we were on a different planet, and his parents were in on it the whole time. Not only his parents, but every single person at the camp. It was all just a moral test for Billy to see if he was mature enough to make the correct moral choices. Are we serious? And the episode ends there with showing the Earth is like up in the sky and that we're gonna invade it. Like, oh my, what? It also turns out that Saber, the monster that's been eating the kids in the camp, is actually just a Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic that is controlled by the government, and it's to test Billy's decision making. Like, what? From what I remember too, this is one of the most insane twist endings in the show. There's just no way that they can just drop this information on us like that. But if you look back, there's actually some small details that would explain that the camp is fake and that they would do this to Billy. Such as the letters, they were probably set up for Billy to find out and confirm that the camp has been doing this for years and killing kids, and to give Billy proof that there's actually some wrongdoing at the camp and that the kids disappearing are real. And that's why this bunk is forbidden and that there wasn't actually anything dangerous about it, but they just made it seem that way so Billy wouldn't go near it. Also, another thing I thought about is they were probably reading Billy's letters about what is going on, so like they can track his progress about the mystery, because he's probably writing to his parents that all these weird things are happening every day and that he wants out, you know, so have some sort of paper trail on what this kid is actually thinking, so the government can kind of see where Billy's at. Also, all the other kids that we fought died are just fine and alive, and that they were in on it too. The snake was also fake that bit that one kid. It's basically like a dumb rubber snake, which is so funny, but I guess they just wrapped it up quick and Billy didn't see it. And that the kids that drowned just actually hid underneath the boat. But if you go back to that scene, Billy is like 2 feet in front of them. How did he not see them if they were hiding underneath the boat? But whatever, I guess. The water was probably so polluted from it being an alien planet or something. Billy also mentions at the beginning of the first episode that his parents like going on these science missions without him, so that's probably why he got sent to the camp in the first place.
I usually spend my summers with my relatives. My parents go out of town a lot.
What do? Rob banks?
No, they're scientists. They go on these field trips.
That's a drag.
Nah, I'm kind of used to it.
Or another thing that I thought about is the explosion at the beginning could have been explosives that the government had lying around, and it's like a first test for Billy's awareness that the camp isn't legit from the start. The twist still comes out of nowhere though, like, and it's insane, but at least there are some reasons behind it, I guess, that you could tune in on if you're picking up on stuff. Or if you just look back, there are some minor things. I really like this two-parter. Not only does it do a good job at having you question the counselors and Uncle Al, but it also feels like everyone is against the kids. It makes you question what's really behind the camp and what is really happening to the missing campers. It puts you in the headspace of the characters and makes you question what you would do in their situation. The show does a really good job too, for some reason, at making sure that there's a correct reasoning behind everything. In a lot of other shows, they would just make the campers blindly dumb and pick them off with no self-awareness. But since the whole thing behind the camp is kind of like a test for Billy to test his decision making, it makes it so Billy and everyone else has like good reasoning behind them with every action that they do, because they're trying to find out what's really going on. And they aren't just stupidly going along with everything. The counselors and Uncle Al give like semi-good explanations for everything, aside from the gaslighting where they just like straight up deny campers' existence, and gaslight just well enough where it's believable that some of the campers would just go along with the rest of the camp without being suspicious of what's going on. The vibes and atmosphere that the story creates is just so perfect. It's the perfect amount of mystery, weird things going on, and funny aspects, even if the funny aspects of the episodes are unintentional. The campiness of the show is just so fun in these episodes. I also really like how they did the standoff between Billy and Uncle Al. When I watched this for the first time, I honestly didn't think that Billy was gonna shoot him, and it was kind of intense. The actors did a pretty good job for some reason there, of making the scene pretty intense for a Goosebumps episode, where there's like real stakes on the line for Billy and everyone there. These episodes show off the best aspects of what the show is capable of, I think, and it plays to their strengths too, where everything in these episodes, they amplify what the best aspects of them are. Okay, thanks for watching, bye.